Oh, well, President Trump has officially lost the dirty grandpa vote. Legendary actor Robert De Niro yesterday told reporters, quote, "We're at a point where the things that are happening in our country are so bad, and it comes from Trump." He went on to say, quote, "It's beyond trying to see another person's point of view." Oh, Bobby. Colorado Democratic Governor John Hickenlooper, who might run for president, raised him one and told a political podcast, quote, "We are seeing a divide in this country that is as significant as when we had slave states and anti-slavery states." The governor might be guilty of a little hyperbole there, because last I checked, the Civil War was a little more violent than a Twitter war. Why is Hollywood and the left so focused on what divides us? Let me ask the man who wants to bring us all together, comedian Dennis Miller. Welcome back, Dennis.
How are you, Kennedy?
I see this. Yeah, go ahead, please.
I was just going to say, Hickenlooper ironically exhibiting a slavish adherence to the talking points. And that, of course, definition number 2, showing no attempt at constructive interpretation. I think there are certain people in this country now who really believe, when they say that, I'm like you, I think, what are you kidding me? This is nowhere near Bull Connor days. But granted, some people see a trace of racism everywhere. They're tracist, and it's an odd time. I think it makes, you know, it almost like you cannot equate the way it was then with the way it is now. That's just me.
It is so disingenuous. It's so short-sighted. It shows such a lack of history. And I listened to someone like Robert De Niro who said, you know, he's ensconced, entombed in such a formaldehyde-filled bubble that he doesn't want to even hear someone else's point of view if it differs from his own. I mean, I don't even know how to term that.
Well, once again, ironically, when I hear Robert De Niro speak on these issues now, I turn into Travis Bickle. I kind of hear a vague thing, and I go, "You talking to me? Are you talking to me?" Listen, when I'm watching that woman in West Virginia today talk about how the tax return has allowed her to buy an archery set for her kid, to be on the archery team, to travel West Virginia, when I think of De Niro looking at that and thinking, well, that's my political enemy, and they have to be flattened, I can't believe he doesn't hear the absolute irony of that. I guess De Niro hates Trump, and he wants you to hate Trump. And if you don't hate Trump, he hates you. And as an artist, Robert De Niro, and I don't want to call you Bobby, as an artist, that is a really bad look.
Absolutely. And here is someone who is supposed to, through osmosis, inhabit the skin of other people and feel their emotions and understand the human condition. How can you possibly do that if you're so myopic?
Well, I agree with you in that I've seen performances he's given where you shake your head and say, my God, that's so perfect what he's doing there. I feel like a voyeur watching him. You know, I mean, it's such an insight into the pain of the human condition. Yeah. I wish he would exhibit the same sort of appreciation that other people can disagree with them, cannot think that Donald Trump is Adolf Hitler. And that doesn't make them bad people. That doesn't make them stupid hicks. That doesn't make them rubes. The mistake Hollywood makes is they always back people who are comped. And now they have turned on people who have to get up out of their chair, go to the mall, and see their films. They have turned on the hoi polloi. And it does not make any sense to me. Artistic expression should be all-encompassing. If somebody disagrees with you, they are not evil. But the curtain comes down on the left now. Immediately when the people in North Carolina say they'd like to keep the status quo as far as bathrooms, they're all bad people. Does the left not note the irony now that they all want to go to Havana, Cuba, but nobody wants to connect through Charlotte, North Carolina anymore? Come on now. Let people believe what they believe. We don't have to all be on the same page.
No, absolutely. And it's really interesting because you're really touching on something that is so important, and it is a basic lack of curiosity. You don't have to agree with or condone what someone says or believes in order to try and understand where they're coming from. And I think that basic curiosity, when you lose that, you lose decency, and then you lose touch with other human beings. And, you know, the line that separates life and death, not to get too dramatic, that's what is so easily crossed when someone can't get enough views on their YouTube page, and so they go into a building and try to kill people.
You know, Kennedy, I wrote something down in the Hickenlooper article that I was researching him on. I knew we were going to talk about him. This quote amazed me. If you told George Orwell this quote, he would say, "Nah, that's too on the nose. We got to come in a little off the nose." He said, "When I meet with people I disagree with, I want to listen aggressively and ask questions." And I was just thinking, do you even hear that, man? What about you listen passively and concede that at some point there are good people who do not shoot their goodness through the prism of being Hickerlubian? I mean, they're just people who disagree.
Yeah, you know what he's been doing? I think Hickenlooper needs to puff pass a little bit of that Colorado green in order to mellow his vibe. All right, Dennis.
The Hickenlooper theory dictates that he do a little bud just to lighten up, Hick. Lighten up.
Maybe one edible. It's not going to hurt him. No one's overdosed on that. Dennis Miller, thank you so much for being here. I always appreciate talking to you.